Well, welcome back, DIY car guys and car girls. Look what I have for you today. Whoop! Oh yeah, the Vega's back. Okay, so this is a no-time car, so whenever it's done, this car will not be revealing any time. So let's get that out the way, because it's not that kind of car. It's going to be a no prep car, grudge racing car, but we have a lot of work to do to it, so it's going to make some great content, and we are going to get it right on this channel right here. Now, the first thing we're going to do today is this. I noticed right here that these guys, he's been having problems with this, and even a shop put those in there, and they're burning right there, and that is on these two guys right here. So what I'm going to do for this first video, the first installment, is we are going to first get these two wires right here settled and fixed. So the first thing we need to do is make some custom wires for them. I got some old wires that I got off the shelf in there that I know are good, and we're going to put 90s on the side right here. Look at this. I'm going to take this. I'll have to make a custom little bracket here. Try to do two hands, or one hand actually, and then we'll cut this one shorter. We'll put it on right here. I'll make something right here that'll hold these two guys and keep them off the header right here, because every time he's put wires on here, they burnt up. Can't have that, especially nitrous car and somebody's racing. So this is the first thing we're taking care of today. Now I wanted to show you underneath this guy, because just look how much potential this car has. It's got some suspension mods. It's set up. Like I said, just needs a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of TLC, but the potential for this guy to run great on no prep and grudge stuff is definitely there. I just noticed this when I was looking underneath there. It's got two fuel pumps, but it's going to a T, so you got two pumps supplying the same reg. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, because you know, if you've been to my channel, you know how I'm a stickler about fueling, especially for nitrous cars. We gotta make sure all this is not gonna fail when you're hitting that button. So we're gonna go over this too. Here's something else we're definitely have to fix. See the bumper right here? Look right here. See that little crack right there? So this guy is all separating and cracking down the way right there. It's hard to see on camera. You look at right down in there. So we gotta, you know, fix that next too. How's the other side look? The other side looks okay. But we got, like I said, we got a lot to check over, a lot to do to this guy. So one thing at a time for sure. We'll address the simple things and then move on to the bigger ones later on. That's kind of how I like to attack projects like this. All right, so I figured I would show you guys how to make your custom wires. This is some wire that I had. It's fine. It just came off my truck. I replaced them all. There's nothing wrong with this one. You can do an ohms tester to this, but I know it's fine because they worked when it came off. So we took this guy out from the original one. I bent it back up. And the way this is going to work, you're going to bend this guy down right here. Then when you look on both sides, see which one look better. I'll do it this side, do it this side. So we're going to put this guy right here, tuck it under, like so. All right. So that way it's contacting this guy right here. Then we're going to grab my crimpers, which, where did I put them? Ah, right here. But first, we're going to use some pliers. All right. And we're going to just crimp these just a little bit more. Just to get them around the wire. All right, push that with a little tiny bit. Right around there. Take the crimpers. And we're going to do it with this side up. Put it right there. Crimp it. And there we go. This guy's crimped. Take some W40 sprayed in here. Lube that up, and then we're going to push this guy on through. So it'll push right on through with a little bit of lube. Doesn't like it to be raw, else you won't get it in there, because that's what she said. We're going to keep on pushing it until we get it all the way in. Bend it a little bit, push it, bend it, push it, get it around the lip right in there. Keep on pushing it through. Get WD-40 out. And then we are pretty good. All right, so we made some progress today. Got both of these guys off the headers. And I put this insulation sleeve that he had on the other one. But of course, if it's still touching the header, it is going to burn. There's no way around that. These wires cannot be touching the header, even with one of these guys on there. So what we did, we took them around this way. And then I put a, these goes in your valve covers, but I just attached it to the head right here. So it keeps these guys off, and they go underneath the headers now, and they're off all that heat. So he shouldn't have any more problems with this guy right here burning up. I was going to start it up, but I wanted to check the oil first, and there's no dipstick in this thing. So I am definitely not going to start it up without checking the oil level while it's here at my house. He drove it here, but I just want to make sure everything's good as far as oil-wise before this guy fires up. So tomorrow I'm going to go pick up a dipstick, and we're going to throw it in there, check the oil, hit him up, see if he wants to do an oil change. And then we'll change the oil, and then we will fire it up. Okay, so it's a new day, and we got oil and filter. It's a good thing too. But let me tell you what's going on over here. The oil smelled horrible. It definitely had gas in it, and it was probably the most dirty, dingy oil I've ever seen in my entire life. So let's talk about the dipstick situation. Well, the reason why there's no dipstick in this thing, because it's broken off inside the block, and the only way to pull it out is to pull the headers off. And if you know, headers been on an LS motor, I am not going to pull them off because there's a good chance that the bolts may break off in the head, and I'm not willing to do that. But I guess the good news is you don't need a dipstick for motor to run correctly. So we're going to put the oil in there in the correct amount. So at least we know the oil level is correct. But look at this. I saw another issue. The pan is dented in. Probably, I would guess, because of a wheelie and coming down on the pan. That would be my best guess. So that's a little concerning. All right, so the oil is drained out. Let's want you guys to take a gander at this. That is probably some of the worst oil I've seen in a long time. Nat, you gotta change the oil more often, buddy. Not sure if you guys can see it. I can see it because the oil's so dark. But see that copper looking stuff flowing out of that filter? That's definitely a little bit of bearing material. I can kind of see it up there too. It's hard to see on camera, but I can see it. Well, hopefully it's nothing. We'll see. All right, well, before the sun goes down, let's at least start it up. I've already started it up off camera. It was harder than a MoFo to get started. Something's not happy with it starting up. I think the timing's too low in the box. Something's not quite right. So I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with that LS box, because it should not be that hard to start up. And it could be the carburetor too. We've got a brand new carburetor for it. We'll put on another video, but let's at least start it up now. Oh. Okay, so if you guys notice when it's starting up, I'll replay the clip right here. That it backfired through the carburetor and it popped out through the exhaust. There's only a couple of things that can really do that to a motor. It's either timing set too low at that initial RPM, because if you've ever been around a carburetor and a distributor, if you have a timing set too low on that distributor and you try to start it, it'll pop the exact same way until you give it some more timing. It could be extremely lean, but I kind of doubt that because the motor is warm. Maybe it is. It's just kind of odd that it would do that just with fuel, which I'm not sure if it's that particularly. There's a lot of varied opinions and timing curves. I know that box probably has a map or something that's set up in there a lot different than a distributor. Like my distributor is locked out at 34 degrees. It doesn't freaking change. And it's still easy to start, doesn't pop or do anything weird or, turn over the motor. And it's kind of stock starter from an LT1 and a 400, 11.5 compression. So, and that's a stock LS with a cam. So I don't think there's any reason, I'll look in the box to see what it's doing. I just don't think there's any reason to pull a whole bunch of timing out down low. Like I said, there's going to be a bunch of varied opinions on that, but that's just my personal opinion on that because I haven't had those issues. And no, some people act like LSs are different than small block Chevys, but they're still a V8 and the timing's still going to be pretty much the same, except they're going to like a little less timing because the heads are more efficient and it's a different motor. But as far as timing, a whole bunch pulled out down low, unless you have a motor with like, 15-to-1 compression. I don't really see a huge need for that for motors like that. But anyways, we'll get to the bottom of this. We'll figure it out because I definitely want to learn why it's doing that. It's definitely got me scratching my head. I have my own theories, like I said, what might be doing it. But until next time, guys, keep on wrenching and peace.